What's up, everybody? I just wanted to basically check in on some real serious things that we need to address with this movement. So, number one, I get it. We are coming together, doing Blackout Tuesday, coming together, making sure our Black Lives Matter, but there's no leadership, there's no structure. And if we really want the momentum to keep up and not die down, we need to figure out who our leaders are going to be. And I took the time to kind of brainstorm a few people who are trending right now, but who honestly have been trending for years and years. And we need these people to step up and figure out who's going to be the central leader or leaders for the next couple of months to years, if not longer, as we try to find a way to reverse this nasty thing called racism, especially in America. So first, I'm gonna name a couple names. I don't want you guys to like freak out, okay? These are not necessarily my direct votes. These are just things or people who I feel like could be some potential candidates. You feel me? The first person I want to talk about is Mr. Ta-henesi. So Mr. Ta-henesi, he's an author, and while I've never really read one of his books, though I probably should, I think that he's a good choice because I did recently see him at the reparations hearing with Congress last year, Juneteenth time in 2019. So if we have him going out and talking to Congress, then we need him to definitely be a potential leader on our team. Another person we've seen in the media recently is Miss Tamika Mallory. So some people know her from that viral clip that's been going around of her speaking at the Minnesota uh, rally, and other people know her from helping to organize the Women's March. Now, I think that it's so good to have female energy when it comes to talking about Black people and Black movement because we are the center, we are the core. And I think that to have her energy, especially for someone who's been doing so much for so long, we need a female on the team, and if not leading the whole damn thing, because we know how to do the damn thing. Another person to look out for is Shaun King. So I'll be honest, I don't really know about Shaun King like that, but I definitely know he has a large social media following. I know that a lot of people are familiar with who he is. He's often a commentator on a lot of different things that are going on in the Black community. He's often the first to know. And I think that recognizability, someone who is going to be someone for the people who we know, we need that name. I think he's a good choice because he's someone who the people know and the people trust. And we need that number one in any of our leaders. Speaking of the people, one person who's definitely for the people, Colin Kaepernick. So Colin Kaepernick, number one, he's ahead of the game. Like he's been doing this thing for a while. He did it when people thought it wasn't cool, and he did it and sacrificed his whole career. Okay, those are types of leaders that we need, people who are going to sacrifice their whole career. Okay, it's rare that you find someone with his courage in this day and age, especially as an athlete. And I think that for that reason and the fact that he continues to fight for Black people and donate towards their cause and organize towards their cause, he definitely needs to be on the list. So another one that's pretty controversial is Killer Mike. But let me tell y'all how much I love Killer Mike. Like I've known Killer Mike back since, Dungeon Family, Outcast Family, ATL, rap music. Like that's Killer Mike. And that's who we grew up seeing, but he's definitely evolved into someone who is for the community. I did get some red flags with his Netflix special. It was kind of like, is this scripted or unscripted? But nonetheless, I feel like, especially with his recent speech to the Atlanta press this past week, he definitely is someone who speaks eloquently for his people. He's down to earth. He definitely needs to be someone who we consider on the list when it comes to Black leadership. Another person who is definitely on the list is Dr. Umar Johnson. Now, let me pause for a second because I know that he's definitely a controversial figure. A lot of people have mixed feelings about him. He definitely has a dedicated and large following with all the work that he's doing for his school and all the speaking engagements he has all over the globe. However, some people question his motives and whether or not he's too conspiracy theorist or not. However, I think that there is some genuine feelings with Dr. Umar. He definitely has been doing this for a while, and you can tell that Black people hold dear to his heart. And I think just off the strength of tenacity to continue to fight for what he fights for, and the fact that he's not afraid to go against the grain and stick with his same issues, his same rhetoric from day one, I can respect that, and he definitely needs to be on the list. Okay. So I know there's a lot of organizations out there, Black Lives Matter, Reclaim the Block, Minnesota Freedom Fund, um, just so many at this point. National Bailout. Bottom line is, some of those people definitely can be leaders. I think Wright, who's at the forefront, who started with it all, is the 3 women founders of the Black Lives Matter initiative. And I think that every one of them individually can definitely be considered, if not all of them together, as the leadership foundation for this movement. And what I mean by that is really stepping beyond the Black Lives Matter and really trying to find a way to create one tune for everyone. So shout out to Alicia Garza, Opal Tamati, and Patrice Cullors for being a part of a legacy, being a part of history. Yeah. So I think another person who deserves definitely leadership consideration, if not honorable mention, is David Banner. So David Banner is someone who, again, came up from the rap world. We know him from maybe some raunchy hip hop back in the day. But bottom line is, in recent years, he really has spoken out, and he's spoken out with his wiseness on Twitter and other social media platforms to really just shed some truth on what's going on with Black people right now. And for his frankness, his audacity, his ability to go against the grain and not be involved in all the nonsense with rap music anymore, and really just dedicate his life to Black issues, that deserves a round of applause. And so, last but not least, how could I forget Miss Sybrina Fulton? So we all know Miss Fulton as Trayvon Martin's mother, but honestly, in recent years, she really has become a part of her community in so many different ways, being a leader. She's running for office. She's a Black strong woman. This is someone who is leading by example. She turned her tragedy into social change. And I know that things aren't easy, but the fact that she is mobilizing and continuing to do the good work and fight the good fight, she definitely needs to be on the list. All in all, Black people, really, I just think it's time. It really is time that we start looking at who is going to lead. Okay, we need to all be dancing to the same tune. We need to make sure that every move that we do, every move that we make, every step, everything is calculated, everything is strategic. We need to make sure that we are all under one umbrella. We need to make sure that we are invincible. We need to make sure that we're not able to be shook. Okay, so I think at this point in time, before we lose momentum, it's so important that we figure out who our next Black leader is going to be. Please reach out, comment, say what you have to say, leave some feedback, share this, have this conversation with your friends and family on who you think is the next Black leader to help with this movement and to help move it forward in the right direction.